This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
Mike, it feels like it's been a while, man. We haven't been on in a few weeks, so we got a lot going on. Personally, bowling wise, it's been kind of wild. So, what do you want to get into first?
What are you into bowling wise? Are you ready to talk about it yet, or no?
No, man. I'm a little bit behind with all my travels in the last 2 to 3 weeks, so I haven't really been home. To be honest with you, between work and my travels, haven't been able to get on the lanes. But I'm thinking in maybe about 3 months or so, I'll maybe be able to break something off.
Okay, you're gonna keep the people waiting, no doubt.
Waiting.
Yeah. So we didn't have a show last week. Everybody, we cancel a show, and I love our people, but everybody just starts throwing around assumptions about why I'm not on the show, why we're not doing a show. I know the Eagles played last Thursday. Okay. Yes. Because we canceled the show, I did get to watch the Eagles game. However, the Eagles game is not why we canceled the show, right? I wouldn't bail on my people here in the Sweep the Rack community, just for an Eagles game. Okay. So, the real reason that we canceled the show last week is because my wife actually had back to school night for her, and I was in charge of the kids for the night, and I had to take my daughter to soccer practice and come home and get them ready and all that for the next day. So wasn't able to go last week. I had back to school night tonight. You like my nice fancy polo collar shirt tonight, everybody? Okay. I had back to school night tonight, but I'm still here for the people. That's why we pushed it back to 9:00. We weren't going to go 2 weeks without hanging out with our little community here. So we're back. I have a league review for the people, Rob. I have a league review. I didn't bowl this past Tuesday because I had to go to my younger daughter's back to school night. We couldn't make it to my older daughter's back to school night because we both had something going on that night. But had to go to my younger daughter's back to school night, so didn't bowl on Tuesday night, but I bowled the Tuesday before, and because we didn't have a show, I have a league review. First time out bowling in like 3 weeks, which reminds me, I got to go pick up my money from my summer league. I always forget to pick up my money from summer league. It's ridiculous. I got to go do that tomorrow after I'm done work. Bowled
Must be nice.
Bowled for the first time in probably 3 weeks, so definitely knocking some rust off. But threw it okay. Threw it pretty good on a medium pattern. Autobahn is the medium pattern, same one as last year. I'm going to try and change the patterns after the first 9 weeks. 192 the first game. Okay. 175 the second game. Probably played them wrong, both of those games. Last year, this pattern played out. This year, for whatever reason, it seems to be playing in a little bit more. Last game, I decided to move in with a different ball, and I shot 225, but it probably should have been 250. I threw it out the window on a huge string. I probably should have thrown the last 8, but instead it was like 5 with an open and then the last 3. So 225 the last game, 592. Won the doubles pot the last game, so that was nice to get a little money back. Didn't bowl great, but bowled okay. Honestly, I think one of the things I liked a lot about the sport pot bowling thing that I put together last year is that we didn't start until October, and I really enjoyed that. Right, so like I couldn't bowl this week. I'm probably not going to bowl next week. September is just tough for me. Like a lot of people with kids, it's tough. They have back to school nights, they have sports starting up, et cetera, et cetera. So Yeah, I'm probably out for a couple weeks until October rolls around and my schedule gets a little bit easier. But enjoyed it as always. We had 16 guys. It was a decent turnout. 17 guys actually. The scratch pot was only 620 something. So had I been able to bowl a better second game, I probably would have been in the running for the scratch pot. But like I said, an enjoyable night. Bowling on the tougher stuff, trying to stay sharp a little bit. A couple events coming up locally that I'm looking to bowl if I can free up time in my schedule. But yeah, man, it's my league report. So,
nice. Well, I don't have a league report, but I want to talk a little bit about my trip to New York. So, if anybody doesn't know this, I'm a huge diehard Jets fan, and man, I'm telling you, bro.
If people remember back a couple episodes, Rob was at that game. Okay. Him and his brother flew out to New York. They had dinner. They hung out. They did the whole tailgating thing leading up to Monday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers, September 11th, New York, the Jets, first game, comes running out. No, just let me set the scene, okay? Comes running out of the tunnel, American flag, okay? I am a real American. I mean, vibing, okay? Vibing, right? And then you all know what happened. You all know what happened. Even if you don't follow sports, you know what happened.
Dude, let me tell you.
Torn Achilles. Rob,
let me tell you something.
What was it like? Here's the question you have to answer. What was it like in that building, going from pre-injury vibe to post-injury vibe?
Mike, I've been going to a Jets game every year since this new stadium opened, okay? That was the first Monday Night Football game I was at, and the first home game intro that was probably the greatest live sporting event atmosphere that I've ever been to. The opening ceremony when they had the fireworks and the lights, and I've never seen Jet fans that happy before in my whole life, okay? It went from cloud nine to we're going to the Super Bowl to honestly pitied depression. What was that guy who did your worst of the year last year?
Oh, what did he say? Depression, misery, right?
In a matter of one injury, but nobody knew what was going on because we weren't getting reports, so we were having to get text messages. And then we saw him leave on a cart, and we said, "Oh, that's not good. Oh, he'll be back. Ankle sprain. They'll tape it up."
Okay.
And obviously, he never came back. The whole stadium was deflated. People were trying to keep their spirits up, whatever. And then they hung around the game. And then obviously the punt return in overtime. And then we went back to cloud nine again. We don't need Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, please.
Zach Wilson's the GOAT. And we went literally.
Boy.
But it was amazing because that's what you had to tell yourself while you were there, Mike. Because it was a lot of denial and a lot of, woe is me, we're Jet fans, we're cursed, including myself, right? I even tweeted out, like, during the game, we're cursed. And then
there had to be a sense at some point that his injury was serious because it happened so early in the game and he never came back. So
I know. So anyway, yeah, we won. We were leaving the stadium. We were on cloud nine. We won. We're going to win with our defense this year. It's the best in the league. We're taunting Bills fans on their way out, all kinds of shit. And then, we get lit up by the Cowboys last week. So anyway, we're 1-1. Still early in the season, but it doesn't look good. And it was the craziest roller coaster of emotion game that I've ever been a part of. And I'll remember that game for the rest of my life until I die.
You tell people I was at the Aaron Rodgers Achilles game. I mean, I hope it's not the same. I hope it's not the last we see of him. I know it's a very serious injury, but I hope he gets the chance to come back, and I hope he gets to come back with the Jets and give you guys and the fans of the Jets, the run that they deserve. It stinks, honestly. As a fan of football, that was one of the highlight storylines of the season, right? So to see that go by the wayside is just extremely disappointing. But we follow on, man. Yeah, no doubt. I'm glad you guys had a good time. Sorry I couldn't make it out.
Yeah.
The birthday party was banging. I
It
was
sure
there
is.
until 8 o'clock at night. My daughter didn't want to leave. They were swimming when it was dark. They had a wonderful time. So yeah, it was nice to hang with everybody at the birthday
We'll,
party. But
we'll
CLT
catch
in
you
the
next time.
chat here asking, what's the line for Miss Spares this year on the PBA League show? Hang around for a few minutes. We're going
All
to
right.
discuss
Well,
betting on the PBA show. Nico checking in. What's good, Nico? Nico, you go to practice. I'm still waiting for you to email us videos so we can help you out, bro. Email us some videos, bro. I'll help you out with your game. Free lessons, dude. Let me help you out, okay?
all right, Mike. We got some stuff going on, some bowling, some PBA. There was some PBA action. There was the league is
Lucky Larson Masters.
the Lucky Larson Masters.
Yeah, PBA League
Obviously,
coming up.
AJ Johnson won. So congrats to AJ Johnson, friend of the show. Great, great kid. Deserves a title. Deserves it.
But
Now,
can we jump right to the point here in
Yep.
this discussion? Let's talk about the worst take in bowling. Okay.
okay.
And do you know what that take is? Do you know where I'm going with this?
I'm gonna say there's two different takes here. One take, I think I'm gonna read your mind here. That it shouldn't be a real title because it wasn't on TV. Or the take would be that there was only like 20 or something, 25 entries. Am I right? I'm one of them.
Well, there was way more than 25 entries, but let's say it was a
Pro
a
entries.
field.
I mean,
Okay, that's exactly what I was going to say. Let's say that it was a field of 25 of the top bowlers in the world. Okay,
Right.
all right, mixed bag of top bowlers in the world.
correct.
Yes, Rob. Come on. I mean, this is why we do the podcast together, right? We disagree on a lot of things, but we know where the hitting points are going to be. I hate that take. It's just bullshit. It really is. Give the guys props. Give the guys props. Like AJ Johnson is not responsible for the decisions that the PBA has made over the years. Okay? And they let the cat out of the bag on this issue, on this particular issue of and the issue I'm talking about here is awarding titles for something less than the standard events that we had previously been used to, right? Before the tour kind of morphed in a way, right?
Right.
So the people that have this take, it's just a nonsense take. I mean, it's the PBA's. If you want to blame someone, blame the PBA. Don't blame AJ Johnson. AJ Johnson won a PBA title within the rules of what the PBA accepts as a title. That's good enough. If it's good enough for the PBA, it's got to be good enough for us, the fans. Okay. So
let me ask you something.
I saw this take a couple places online in comments on posts about his win and things of this nature, and I just thought, man, like that really is the worst take in bowling. Now, if you want to have a conversation with me, and actually, Rob, I think it would be interesting to do this if we had the time to really look at it. If you want to sit down and rank the I don't even know what word I want to use because I don't want to throw shade at anybody. But if you want
titles,
if you want to sit down and rank like the easiest titles or the least valuable titles, the most fugazi titles out there, we could have that discussion because I could come up with a decent list. Okay.
So
However,
here's my question.
I don't think that we should criticize or take away from the player who wins the title because the PBA opened up the floodgates at some point to these type of titles being won, and the field was strong.
Comment here because
the field was strong.
This is what a lot of the criticism is, right? Some people said that Belmo, EJ, and Butters didn't go to Sweden, so the title doesn't count, and that's where what kind of we're talking about, Nico, is that it's not his fault, AJ's fault that they didn't go, right?
No.
Now let me play devil's advocate here, right? And I'm not saying I agree with this, but I'm asking if you were to ask AJ Johnson, like if he considers this, I mean, like a real title, right? Like, I mean, it wasn't on TV. He didn't get to bowl against EJ, Simo, or Belmo, and a lot of other pros that weren't there, right? Probably, what would you say? Maybe half to 60% of the regular field wasn't at this event, right?
Right, but I
Um,
also think that there's a lot of international talent out there at this point. So, you might have some guys there who are just as good as some PBA players, and are bowling on their home turf, so to speak.
it's a fair point. I'm with you. I agree with you. I think he earned it. He won this title. It was a PBA title. It's not his fault that a lot of the major pros weren't there. It wasn't his fault that it was in Sweden, right? Like, it wasn't his fault. He went, he bowled. It was a title before he went. He won the title. He comes home a titleist, right? I do think, though, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I do think that deep down inside, AJ might not admit it, but deep down inside, he still wants to win a title on U.S. soil, on TV, right? Fox, FS1, whatever it is, and beat the best in the world for a title so he could prove the naysayers wrong in a weird way, right? Because if that was me, I would be happy I won the title. I'd be like, F you guys, I won a title. I don't care. But deep down inside, I'd still want to be able to beat a Belmo or a Simo or attack it on TV to win another title.
Yeah, but I think that goes for anybody who wins a title and doesn't beat one of those guys,
Correct.
right? Whether
But if
you
they're in the
win it,
field, though, they beat them. That's the difference. I'm saying not directly beat them in match play on TV. I mean, yeah, that would be great. I mean, if they're in the field, you beat them, right?
okay. All right, that's a very general way of looking at it, but okay. I bring up Nico's comment, in response to your point too, Robert. That point, maybe not your point, but that point. He beat Simo and Jesper, in the final round. I mean, what higher quality do you want? I understand that some guys didn't bowl it, but it's not like he beat me and you on his way to this title.
No,
he beat players that are among the best players in the world, or perhaps even the best of all time.
Top 8, right? AJ Johnson, Jesper, Andrew Anderson, Anthony Simo, Kyle Troop, Chris Prather, Tom Hess, and then William Brugren, who I don't know who that is.
Name me a bad player name me a bad player. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not a it's a power.
That's what I'm saying. That final 8 is as good as any final 8 you might see in a regular World Series of bowling event. Just to give an example.
But also the devil's advocate is EJ Tackett didn't bowl, Belmo didn't bowl, right? Like, and there's a lot of other guys that didn't bowl.
So
like,
here's what I would expect AJ Johnson to say. I would expect him to say, no, this 100% counts as a title, but the competitor in me does want to go out and win another one and prove any of the doubters wrong. And make it lock, stock, and barrel. So yeah, I would expect any competitor of that level to kind of feel the same way. I don't think that type of thinking or that type of mentality like really stands out. I just think that most of these guys would feel that way. So listen, it's awesome to see somebody break through.
I love it.
He's been on a lot of shows. He's been on a lot of shows. He's had his struggles, and now it'll be interesting to see it whether getting that demarcation of title winner, if the next time he makes a show in the quote unquote traditional setting, okay, how does that impact him? Is he more relaxed? Is he able to go out there and let it loose a little bit more because he's not thinking so much about that title, non-title winner label that you're wearing at that time? I mean, I could easily see that being the case. So I'm interested to see if it might loosen him up.
Yeah, it's also a confidence booster, right? Like, you finally feel like you deserve to be there, right? Like, and you bowl and you work so hard and you practice, and how hard he practices, he goes to the gym. And you went that long without winning a title, and you've come that close. You want to win to prove to yourself that you belong there. And I think AJ does belong to be there. He's my opinion, probably in the top 10. If not, maybe you could put him in the top 15, right? But I think he's got the talent, the potential to be a superstar on the PBA tour. He really does. And I want to see him become a superstar. I love his personality. I love his intensity. I love his game, right? Everything about him is great. Is destined really to be a superstar. Like, he's got a lot of character. He's got a lot of, personality, and I think he'd be great.
Entertaining.
He is entertaining, and when he gets comfortable and he starts really winning, I think you're going to see a lot of that personality shine on TV. I think right now he's just kind of still a little bit, hesitant to really let himself loose. But I think you'll see it eventually. But yeah, I want to see him do very well.
Yeah, it's a good point by Andrew. Excuse me, in the chat. I saw that on social media too, Andrew. He actually announced that he's having a baby too. So, perfect time to break through. He's got a lot of big things going on. First title, first kid. So yeah, I would imagine that he wants the success to continue as well, right? So shout to him for been a guest on the show, friend of the show for sure. So glad to see him win. Glad to see him get it done.
Sure.
But all right, Rob. People want to know our thoughts on the PBA League. We want to talk PBA League, but before we get into PBA League, or as we get into PBA League, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was an article that Jeff Rickles put out earlier this week that was highlighting betting on the PBA League. And basically the article was interviewing somebody. I'm trying to bring it up here. I can't find it. But it was interviewing somebody who is creating odds for the PBA League and had written an article, giving some of their best bets for the PBA League. I love it, except this, okay? It's the PBA League. And this is more of a semi-exhibition match or entertainment piece than it actually is a highly competitive event, right? So while I'm all about the betting on bowling, and everybody who has tuned into this pod at one time or another knows that I think betting on bowling could be a huge part of opening bowling up to the masses, getting better exposure for bowling. I don't think that the PBA League is the place, the event that we should be really locked in on and focused on in terms of betting and discussing odds and putting bets in and things of this nature. I don't even know. I didn't even check Bet Rivers this week to see if they're offering odds on anything because some of the shows are taped. And I believe some of the shows are taped anyway. If I'm wrong about that, let me know. But usually when that's the case, they don't offer odds on anything. So I didn't bother to check. I mean, I'll probably check before the end of the day tomorrow. But again, even if there are odds, I don't think that that I could bring myself to bet on the PBA League. Because again, of the very random nature of the format, okay, would be one thing for me there.
So
and the fact
let me chime in because I'm on Bet Rivers right now.
Okay, because it's sort of to me, it's a semi-exhibition event.
Yeah, so the only thing right now I could bet on is who's going to win the Elias Cup. The winner of the Elias
Cup. The winner of the whole thing.
And first or second, I could bet too. And they just give you all the teams.
Okay.
In case anybody was wondering, the Motown Muscle is the odds on favorite at plus 300. The underdogs, the leasters, the Waco Wonders, they're at plus 1,300. So sorry to chime in. Go ahead, Mike.
Wait, give me those odds again. Give me those odds again.
The Waco Wonders, I'll go through real quick. The Waco Wonders is plus 1,300. The Milwaukee Pounders plus 1,100. The Portland Lumberjacks, Mike, are plus 900. Okay, kind of like that bet, right? They've won like the last 2 years. Kingpins plus 900. The Breeze 800. High Rollers 650. Dallas Strikers 500. The Silver Lake Am Splitters at plus 450, LAX plus 350, and Motown Muscles plus 300. And from me looking at the television schedule, I think 3 of the 4 shows are actually live, Mike,
Okay.
according to the TV schedule.
Okay, but again, the reason that they're only offering odds on the winner, right, is because there's tape shows involved. Otherwise you'd probably be able to bet on, the majority of those shows. No?
I mean, I don't know if they're going to let you bet on each show, on like the results, but you can bet the total results. So I don't know what Bet Rivers has in store, but I would imagine they would already have the odds up for the first show, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But
And is it okay, because they're also recording, if I'm correct, they're also recording this weekend the finals of the Bolero League Championships.
Correct.
Right. So that's gonna be airing, and that's gonna be recorded this weekend as well.
Correct. Yeah, that's all taped on Sunday. It's to air October 1st. And it's taped at noon, Sunday, the 24th.
So, question: Who do you like? Who do you like with those odds? Who you taking? Who you picking?
Well, I'm not picking the Dallas Strikers anymore because our guy Bill is not bowling.
If Bill was bowling, you'd be picking them, though.
I probably would.
Plus 500.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. If Bill was bowling, I would have a really hard time betting on anybody but them at plus 500. I mean, that to me, that seems like a really good bet if you got Bill in the lineup. Now, the thing I'll say about DJ Archer is that he strikes a lot in that place too. So, I still the odds should definitely be adjusted without Bill in the lineup. I mean, there's no question about that.
Well, here's the thing:
is be higher than plus 500.
The Portland Lumberjacks are plus 900, and I'm not betting against them in that building at plus 900. Honestly, like, how could you bet against them at plus 900 in that building?
I hear you, but they shouldn't have won last year.
Yeah, so the Eagles shouldn't have won their Super Bowl. I mean, what do you should have won? What do you mean they should? Because everyone decided to miss spares and go brain dead for a show. I mean, look, like the Portland Lumberjacks are like, they have something in that building. It's just facts. I mean, how many have they won already in that building? And they're plus 900, Mike.
Those are pretty juicy odds, I have to say, for a team that has had a lot of success in that building.
I wish I would have bet that Bill was going to be hurt. I wish I would have got some odds on that. I probably could have made some money if Bill would have told me up front.
Man.
Could have could have made some quick money, Bill. I know he's in the back or listening right now. So.
But I do like the Dallas Strikers. Wouldn't surprise me to see the Portland Lumberjacks do it again, especially with the Bayside crowd behind them. I'm looking forward to the live shows. I hope they get good crowds up there. I hope it's a good environment. I'm very disappointed that Bill is not going to be bowling. That definitely puts a damper on the event for me personally. But yeah, listen, I might log on to Bet Rivers. I might log on tomorrow and throw a couple bucks in my account. I like those two bets, Rob. I like the plus 900 and the plus 500. I like them both. Now what that means is that both of those teams will probably get eliminated in the first round, and it'll be two random teams in the final.
Here's my prediction. Here's my prediction, though. My hot take prediction of the PBA League. You ready? Belmo finally gets his PBA League title this year.
Ooh.
That is my prediction. That's the one thing that he hasn't done yet in the sport, and I think he's going to do it this year. That is my hot take.
It's interesting. That's a nice take. What were their odds?
Plus 350.
I don't like those odds.
I'm not saying I'm going to bet on them. I'm just saying that's my take. My bet is Portland Lumberjacks at plus 900. I might even pick like the least odds, the Pounders and the Wonders at plus 11 and plus 1300.
And just throw something on it, right?
Shit, I mean, why not?
Throw a 20 on it. Throw a 20 on it, right? I mean, maybe it pays off. Nico, yeah, clearly, right? The Motown Muscle is going to be the favorite just because they have Simonson and EJ. I think that goes without saying.
It does, but it's still team bowling, and we know team bowling is a completely different beast than bowling individual in singles.
I mean, look at the ending of the event last year. One of the most shocking endings in in the history of professional bowling for sure. Randy actually called it the most shocking ending he's seen in 22 years. I don't know if I agree with that. I think that Mika missing a 10-pin to me is probably more shocking than what happened at the end of that show. But
I mean, can we throw Del Ballard's gutter in there? I mean, or is that like
yeah? Well, no. Randy was
that's a whole
talking
nother
about
segment.
Randy was talking about in the 22 years that he has been doing shows. Right,
Oh,
so
not bowling
include
though, right?
the Del Ballard, right?
Not leaving stone A pins, essentially.
Right.
All right, Mike. Well, there was some news that broke today. FYI about the league. We all know that Bill bowed out gracefully, letting DJ Archer fill his spot in the Dallas Strikers. What a stand-up guy he is. But I figured, Mike, you wanted to bring him on, right? Talk to him a little bit.
Well, we're debut. Go ahead, bring him on.
Yeah, he's sitting around. Yeah, we don't want to keep him sitting around.
Yeah, we're not trying to waste his time.
Yeah, how long I got to sit here?
What's up, homie?
I even got a haircut to go up this weekend.
Oh man,
terrible.
So when did you tweak your back? When did this happen?
So it happened like a month ago, and then after like I've had this issue. I don't know if Robbie remembers this, but I did it in college. The first time I ever hurt my back. I was playing basketball. I was also like really heavy at the time, so like I was like probably 250 pounds, and like I was playing basketball, and I came down like flat-footed on a rebound, and it like I wrecked my lower back. And then so every year, 18 months, something would happen where I would do something, I'd bend the wrong way, I'd pick something up, and it would just like I would just be out of commission for a couple of days. I couldn't bend over, and then it would be fine. And so I've gone through that cycle for a long time now. And then like a month ago, I was playing golf and I hit a driver, and it's just like, I was like, that doesn't feel right. And then it just got tighter and tighter and tighter as the day went on. And I've been seeing a chiropractor for a little while, getting like a bunch of treatments and doing all these different cupping therapies, all these different things. And so it got a lot better, and I was fine. I was practicing and getting ready for this. And then yesterday, just doing nothing. I was in my, I'm old, man. So I was in my backyard, like, raking dead grass, and I was like, that don't feel right. And then like stopped doing it, and then like a couple hours later, I'm like, yeah, this is not good. I didn't even do anything. That's the worst part. I don't even have a good story for you.
Yeah, it happened. The same thing happened to Lisa. Lisa's my wife, for those of you who don't know. My beautiful wife, Lisa, actually. And same thing happened to her maybe like, I don't know, a month or so ago, where and I asked her like, how did you hurt your back? She didn't even know. She's like, I don't know. Maybe I could have been like lifting out some water out of my truck, or I could have been, doing this or doing laundry. And so, yeah, I feel you on that.
And Mike,
dude, I've moved I was helping move an apartment in July, lifting couches and dressers and stuff.
The fuck you?
No problem. It's like
you're a grown ass man. You're moving people.
It's a long story. Anyway, so I was. I was lifting like couches and dressers and stuff, no problem. And I've hurt my back before, no joke. A couple years ago, right after the U.S. Open, I tweaked it putting underwear on. So
First off, there's two things to this. First off, I can't imagine what it took to get Bill to come over to help you move. Like that in itself is a miracle, right? That had to be someone had something on you, some blackmail or something, because like I can't imagine asking you today to come help me move and you'd be like front and center there. So I don't know what that person had on you. The second thing is in Bill's defense.
Well, it was DNA. It was my father. So
that's there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
There you
go. I think we probably helped you move 3 or 4 times in life at some point.
The 35 times that I moved. The other thing is in Bill's defense in college, he did carry me and my brother for like 3 or 4 years bowling. So I'm sure the back took a major toll from carrying me and my brother for 3 years at Saginaw Valley. But anyway,
well, that's not true.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to make something fun.
Prop you up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to build you up here, Bill. Okay, so
you decide not to bowl today.
Yeah, because it's like almost a 7-hour drive for me to go up there to tomorrow, and I'm like, I could have probably done a bunch of stuff, and I'm sure somebody had some muscle relaxers or something I could have taken to bowl or whatever. But like I didn't, it being a team event, I didn't want to go up there and then all of a sudden like we're halfway through the Baker thing, and I throw a shot, and I'm like, I can't even walk now, and then I screw the whole team, and then we're done.
Would you have bowled if it was a singles event?
I might have tried. I don't, I could have went up there and gave it a shot, because then at that point, if I withdraw, it's just me. I'm only hurting myself. It's not a big
By the way,
deal.
when Bill's back was ginger, Bill throws it really good because it kind of slows him down a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, like he's like, yo, my back's hurting, but you'd see all of a sudden like his timing and his footwork would get really good. And I'm like, man, like you need to hurt your back more often because, man,
because that was also back when I started really hard, so that I had no choice but to slow down. My ball would actually hook.
Well, Bill, we wish you a speedy recovery.
Just for people that are listening to this, the logistics of the league, and Bill didn't explain this, but this is what he's referring to. You don't have an extra player, right? So if you're bowling and something happens and you get injured during the competition, the team is going to have to bowl with 4 people. Is basically
and there's no alternate. There's not like there's somebody there. Like if somebody goes out, that's it. You're just done.
Why wouldn't they do that though? Why wouldn't they actually like get you guys to pick an alternate? It wouldn't have to be a pro, but someone there in case. Like I don't give a shit. Like someone, bring me just to sit there and watch, and then if something happens, at least I can go in and bowl. I'm just saying, like it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Like permanent alternate. Like you're the
dude. I'm just trying to get in.
He's the steady QB. The steady sub for the PBA league.
Yep,
Yo,
they got 10 different Pierre Shed jerseys.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to get my Tom Brady moment when Bledsoe got hurt, man. I'm just,
jeez. But no, listen. I would imagine. I don't think it's going out on a limb to say that the reason they're not going to carry an alternate is because you're talking about splitting another check for whatever you're getting. So like that takes away from the players that are already in it. So like, do you?
And you're talking like Portland. You're talking right this time of year. The hotel rooms are $250 a night to stay at the places that aren't even that great. So you're gonna have somebody come up there and give them money, and also have to either.
Tom Clark is the fallout. Let Tom Clark as your sub. Good luck with that. I'm sure they'd rather take zeros.
How great would it have been though? Is Norm going to be there as a manager?
Yeah, he's the manager. Yeah.
Okay.
How
great? Listen,
I thought about this.
Oh man! Oh my God! I gotta say, you might have lost an opportunity here to write a great bowling story.
I think he probably was already on his way, and I don't think he brought us any equipment. So.
Oh, that doesn't matter. That doesn't. This is Norm Duke we're talking about.
Have you met Norm?
The evil empire will get something there pronto.
This is a whole thing.
Dude, could you imagine though? I'm looking at these managers. Could you imagine if one of these managers like was a sub? I mean, you got some legends out here.
Yeah,
Dragula, Monticelli.
They could all be subs.
Bill's reading my mind here, but I have to tell the people where I was going there. Bill goes up. He tries to tough it out. He pulls his back out. He can't even walk. He's got to be carried out of the bowling center into his car, okay? And Norm Duke, you know what I'm saying, son. Norm Duke, my man, grabs somebody else's ball. He grabs a house ball. He grabs the Bayside ball, and he goes out there and gets it done. I mean, God, what a story that would be.
It would have to end like that, because last year was so cool for his being like final shot. Like you can't come back and him just be like out there. You would have to script it and make sure that he won. Otherwise,
probably won't surprise you, but I wasn't a fan of that last year. I didn't like that they gave him the final shot for the other team. I thought it's just not.
Yeah. I mean, your general opinion on sports is that no one should be happy. Like it's just there should be no like joy taking out of it at all. Like once you get past like 15 years old, everybody has to be miserable and no one can enjoy it. And even when you win, you should be scowling at everybody and maybe punch somebody in the face when you're leaving.
Yeah, I mean, that's Philadelphia sports for you. So I mean, isn't that kind of raised as you Philadelphia people? Like,
I mean,
just
a
be
little bit. The
miserable?
Eagles are 2-0 right now, and if you turned on the radio, you would have thought that
Yeah, and
the entire team was getting fired. Everybody's getting fired. Everybody's got to go.
Didn't a Patriots fan get killed at the Jets Patriots game?
No, Dolphins.
No,
Dolphins.
it was last week. Yeah, somebody punched him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Terrible.
All right, let's
All
go down
right, but
with
this is kind of the perfect transition, actually, to why we brought Bill on tonight. We are debuting a new segment tonight. Okay,
that's right.
That's
right.
That's what they call me around here.
The harbinger of no fun.
Yeah, no fun. Yes, I am the captain of no fun. So we're debuting a new semi-regular skit tonight. Okay, and I had to bring Bill on to do this skit because Rob just doesn't fit the description. He doesn't fit the job description for this skit. So I listen to other podcasts. And I often hear podcasters talk about things going on in their kids' lives, right? And I really never get the opportunity to talk about my kids on here because Rob doesn't have any kids. That's why he doesn't fit the description.
Well, they don't bowl, Mike, either. So I mean, it's a podcast.
True, very true. But the people want the personal side too, right? So we're gonna bring Bill on semi-regularly, and we're gonna do a segment called Parents in the Back. And the reason we're calling it Parents in the Back is because
I'm glad you changed the name. That's good.
As all of you know,
we should bring on
as
Paul
all
Mooney
of you
next.
know, if you've been to a bowling tournament, where are all the parents at? The parents are in the back. And we had parents that used to spend hours and hours in the back. So we're going to call Parents in the Back, and we're going to bring Bill on, and we're going to talk about parent related issues with our kids. Okay, and highlight some of the behind the scenes parent things that we're dealing with and going through as we navigate raising children in this crazy world that we have. And Rob is going to provide the viewpoint of the people that have no kids. Okay,
no kids, no prospects.
Right, he might be shocked by a lot of what we have to say, etc. So
I'm good.
Here's my first Parents in the Back, and it's almost a confession. Okay. And you two will appreciate the comparison I'll make here. This is going to go over the heads of like 99% of the people listening to this podcast. I am somewhat becoming the Sean Wyden's dad of youth soccer in my area.
Ooh, and you got to explain what Sean Wyden's dad. That's.
Do you want to comment? You comment. You comment.
First of all, the fact that I would have never, ever in my life guessed that Mike would have had a daughter who's athletic enough to play soccer. What a miracle. I've seen her play. I've seen her videos. She's good.
Yeah, she can play. My wife is very athletic. Lisa's a very good athlete.
This is Lisa's child.
Oh, they kid, but I was actually a decent athlete as a kid. Okay, so yeah, we won't go there. But Sean Wyden was a guy, nice guy. If Sean hears the podcast, what's up? Hope he's doing well. But it's not exaggerating to say that him and his dad were sort of like locally famous at the JBTs because Sean was really good and he was really young, and his dad had like crazy expectations for what he was going to do at every tournament. And it was a JBT where you were bowling against all these ridiculously good people. So sometimes you just weren't going to stack up. And he would just be in the back going crazy, going 10 out of 10 ballistic. All right, is the way that I remember it anyway. Now, I'll say this. I am not going 10 out of 10 ballistic, but inside, I like it's very hard for me to control myself. Not only when I'm at the event, at the game watching, but also like if I'm training with her or she's at practice and I'm watching practice, like no matter what I'm doing, it's hard for me to control, like I never thought that watching kids sports would be like this. That's what I'm trying to say. I now understand some of the crazy parents in the back at the JBTs that we went to. I get them. I get them now. But I never thought that it would be like that. But it is like that because your kid's out there and you're super invested in it and you're super excited. You want to see them do well and you want to see them like succeed. And it's just it's so tough for me. So
because you're an intense guy by nature.
We had our first game. We had our first game last Sunday. And I almost broke. You know the folding chairs, like the ones in the bags, and you take them out of the bag and you unfold them and you put them down. Okay, so that's the seating we had at the soccer game, and I broke. I grabbed the handle of the chair, the arm of the chair, so hard at one point that I broke the plastic inside the arm of the chair, and I realized this, and I was like, yo, I gotta chill. Like I'm 10 out of 10 right now, and I gotta bring it down. But I was like, it's eye opening to me that this is what it's like to watch my kid in a sport that matters. Like we're getting to a level where it matters. We're getting to a level where good play matters, and it's just it's wild to me that this is what it's like to watch your kid in a sport. I never envisioned myself being the parent in the back that gets a little bit too hyped up for what's going on out there. But it's very hard. So
Mike, I want to hear Bill's.
But like as long like being hyped up is cool, but like as long as it doesn't turn into like you yelling at any of us yelling at the refs or the volunteer coaches and the umps out there making $15-20 for the game and people are berating them. That's where it gets out of hand. And like, just from bowling for all these years and doing all those events that we do. And like, I knew exactly what type of parent I didn't want to be before I ever became a parent, just being around. And the one thing I always remembered was I would always take note of the kids who were really good and what their parents were doing. And 99 times out of 100, their parents were doing nothing.
Yeah,
they
my
were
father
just there.
would fall asleep most of the time when he was watching me bowl.
My mom would drop me off and go to the mall.
Rob, your dad
Yeah.
was one of the calmer people I remember watching.
Yeah, because he would always tell me. I would get mad at him when I was a kid, like 15 years old, and I would be like, Dad, I needed help. I was struggling, I was like, you're not watching me, and he's like, I saw every shot you threw, every one. He's like, we'll talk about it later. He's like, this is a tournament. I'm not always going to be here, so you got to work this out. And it took me a couple years to get it. And then when it clicked, I was like, yeah, he's right. Like I'm going to be in college soon. Like he ain't going to be around. Like I'm going to have to learn how to bowl. And then we would, go over the event in the car on the way home.
So true story, Mike. And I think Bill was there for this tournament at Rose Bowl with JBT. I was like 15 or 16 years old. I had 300 the first game and had the front 8 the second game. So I had 20 in a row. And I'm 15. My dad was in the back falling asleep. He literally was asleep. And they had to wake him up. Like, your son's at the front 20. And he's just like, yeah, I know he's bowling good. And like, he was kind of like half up. So, my mom was at the mall. My dad was falling asleep. So that's kind of
your dad was a doctor. He was tired. You know what I mean?
He was tired.
He had a tough week. He's lucky he was there.
He'd always say when we drive by the golf course, he'd say, "Should have been on the golf course, Bobby."
I had to watch a video. All the soccer parents have to watch a video about behavior on the sidelines. And I'm not going to lie, like there were a few things in the video that highlighted that you shouldn't do that I was probably somewhat guilty of last season. And then we got an email saying that at our games for our soccer organization, I'm not going to say the name on here, but for our soccer organization, when we go to games, it's been requested that we sit just with our team and our team parents, and we don't intermingle with the other team's parents, because last year there were several unfortunate incidents, And like I definitely don't think I'm approaching anywhere near that level, especially what you said though, with the yelling at the refs and yelling at the coaches. But I'm gonna say this though, like I'm deeply, deeply invested in it. I am, and like it worries me a little bit, because I never, like you said, I never thought I would be like that, but I definitely find that I have that high level of investment in it, And yeah, I'm like,
for some reason, I don't know why this is, because Gavin was playing baseball and basketball, and it wasn't like that. But my neighbor's daughters play soccer, and the soccer games are nuts. It's something about soccer that does it. It's like soccer and football. Because like the basketball games don't really get like that. The baseball games haven't been that bad. Baseball parents can be really brutal, but it hasn't been terrible. But my neighbor told me he got thrown out of one of the soccer games, and his daughter was hurt. She was standing next to him on the sideline. She wasn't even playing the game. She was on crutches. He got thrown out of that game. His daughter wasn't even playing.
You ever seen that episode of South Park where Stan's fights with his father in every game? That's one of my favorite episodes.
Absolutely.
I want to hear Bill's. Yeah,
all right, go ahead, Bill. What's your parents in the back for us?
So this story is from a long time ago. This isn't even involving my kids, but this is a me observing a parent in the back, and it was something that I had taken note of. I'm like, oh wow, yeah, don't do this. And it was when Christy was coaching high school girls bowling, and I'm in the back. I think we were dating. We weren't even married yet. This was a long time ago, and one of the girls that she was the best bowler on the team. I think she was the anchor bowler, and she was bowling good, and she threw a shot. And she threw it to the right, and it went high. And the scoring, the cubic scoring had the miles per hour on there, but those things that has the all the way down by the pins is where it reads the miles per hour. So the dad happened to be standing right next to me, and he's like, she's always throwing it slow. Every bad shot slow. Look at it. And I was like, well, no. I was like, it's not. That shot wasn't slow. Does he
know who you are or no?
Yeah, but at this time, I'd probably only been on tour for like 2 years.
Okay.
So I think I maybe had a couple shows under my belt. I wasn't like winning. I wasn't on TV a lot. But he knew I was on the tour. I'm still somebody who is on the tour. And, I think he probably knew. And he was like arguing with me, and I'm like, she didn't throw it slow. She threw it to the right. And he's like, well, you see it's how much slower it is, 2 miles an hour. I go, yeah. So now I'm trying to break down why throwing it to the right and it hooking early slows the ball down, and why and I'm like, this is like 10 minutes, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to ever do this when if I'm ever in a position where my kids happen to be playing a sport and a professional of that sport is there. I'm not going to get into an argument with he or she about what's happening in the game. It's like, that's never going to happen.
All right, but with that said, don't you? All right, if we talk basketball, right, which I know Gav is into, like, you follow basketball, you know a bit about basketball, you know styles of play and what good play is and bad play is in basketball. So don't you feel when you're in that environment with him, don't you feel like you know enough to be able to comment?
It depends on what the comment is. If he's wide open and they shoot the ball, it's different. It's like, this is why you're a perfect sports radio caller. This is why you're the best. Because like, if I'm standing there with a professional basketball player, and something happens, and he's like, yeah, Gav should have been in the corner, or he should have, when he was guarding that pick and roll, they should have switched that. I don't know, something, and he says, and I argue with the guy. Now what? Because I watch Sixers games. I'm an authority on the pick and roll coverage there. No, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, I just always think that parents, again, like with sports and their kids, they have a tendency to like think they know more about the sport because their kid's involved in it than they actually know about the sport.
Well, and they also think every parent that their kid has any semblance of talent. They think their kid is the next Tiger Woods in that sport. And so they are, they're doing everything they can. And it's like, they don't realize that Tiger Woods was also exactly the same as Tiger Woods' father. So you have to have the talent and the, maniacal work ethic has to kind of be at both those things. And, a lot of these kids, you see them and they're out there like, I'm exhausted, I don't do this anymore. And the parents are like, no, we're going to get more lessons. Kids like, no. just want to go have some chips. Leave me alone.
No doubt. How is I got to say, I was hoping you were going to do for parents in the back. I was hoping you were going to do the same bit you did on Twitter about Gab being the most annoying kid in the world
listen, that's
because
not
of his
not
fantasy team.
Oh my god, dude. Well, so that's not really a sport. Him playing sports. So I didn't know if he wanted to, but yeah, he's his one of his buddies' dad. He's like, yeah, let's get him in a fantasy football league. They all like it. We'll have a draft at my house. I'm like, yeah, cool, sounds good. Let's do it. But you get 10-year-olds trying to do a live fantasy football draft with the, you see
Rob's reaction to this.
You got the board up, you got the stickers, and it's like we were doing this thing, and I'm like,
how long did it guys take you? Like 6 hours?
3 hours. You know what? And it really wasn't. It wasn't necessarily their fault either. It just so happened that whatever set that he bought, the players, when the stickers came in, they weren't in alphabetical order. They were done by position, but the players weren't in alphabetical order.
So you couldn't find the player.
Every time they went to make it, no, we couldn't find anybody.
Oh my god, what a nightmare!
I'm like,
you should just open your laptop and did it on software.
Yeah, then we have a draft. So the way the guy set it up, he's like, all right, listen, we're just going to make the kids. They have to draft 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 4 receivers. We're not going to let them go crazy. We're just going to make them. They have to draft a certain way. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. So we get home that night, and Gavin's like, Dad, I drafted Najee Harris and this other guy. I think I'm going to trade him for this. I go, the draft was 10 minutes ago. Why? I think I want Bijan Robinson. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you do.
I want
everybody
to.
else. What do you mean? You're going to trade him 6 players who stink for? Well, I'm going to send it. Maybe he'll. And I go, Gav, you can't. It doesn't even work. You have to have X amount of players. And I look in. The account under my email. I click on the thing. You know how you get that little notification when you have like pending trades or whatever. So I'm like, let's say 6. What the hell's that? So I click on it. He's got 6 trades sent out and the same players in all of them. I go, what are you doing? He goes, I don't know. I'm just seeing it. I'm like, oh, this is a nightmare. This is the first day one.
So now you have to step in and become the quasi manager of his team. It's another fantasy team you have to do.
I'm trying to tell him, like, look, you do whatever you want to do. You draft whoever you want to draft. Like, this is your thing. I'm just here to help you out and click some buttons and log you on. Like, but he's relentless now. So he's. Dad, how many points did Lamar have last night? What did he do? Did he? Do you think I should put this person in? I'm like, oh my god. I don't care what you do. Do whatever you want.
Bill, you could give him my number, considering I've won our league 2 years in a row. Maybe he should be asking me, not you. I'm just throwing that out there.
Text Uncle Rob. Text Uncle Rob.
I did beat you 2 weeks ago for the first time in like a decade, I think. So
you did, because my team isn't good this year and Cooper Kupp is hurt. So we don't want to get into fantasy here, but
that's great.
Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares about a fantasy team.
Nobody cares. Well, see, that's the funny thing about it, is because no one wants to hear about somebody else's fantasy team. But
just like nobody cares.
You have to listen to your kid's fantasy team. You have no choice. You have to. Yeah. It's nobody like you're stuck with it.
Fantasy teams are like new poker hands. It's like the new thing.
Yes. This is true.
And bowling league and league scores. It's the same shit. Nobody cares you bowled 750 in league this week.
Oh,
nobody
I had 800.
Nobody cares about your fantasy team. Nobody cares about your bad beat. Nobody cares.
Do you guys have strong opinions on league bowling?
A little bit.
Do you want to go into it? What do you think? How are you?
Even though we have a league review, and I was going through all my league review. What?
You guys have tables over there yet?
No, I stopped bowling. I'm taking a hiatus, but that's on the low key.
I should have known. I haven't seen any tweets about it. So
it's funny. We don't care about league scores, but we had a league review we do every week, and then we would talk about our own league scores. But nobody cares about league scores.
It's because I bowl on the reel. It's because I bowl on the reel. Okay.
Yeah.
Bowl on the reel over here. All right. Here's my last question. We're gonna get you out of here. Is there anything on the line in this kids fantasy league, or is it just for fun?
No, I think they put up like $10 or something.
Really? What degenerate dad said, let's throw in $10 and have them? Who's teaching 10-year-olds to gamble on sports?
It's on every commercial.
Oh.
It's gonna be pretty soon where he's gonna look at me and go, Dad, what's plus 500? And I gotta explain to him.
I don't
And
know.
he'll say, "Wait, so if I put up $100, I can win 500? Let's get in."
Well, the next thing you know, it's going to be
true.
like next year they're going to want to do a last place loser has to get a tattoo or something, and then what are you going to tell them? You're going to tell them no, you already have them gambling on sports. So now they're going to want to follow the trend of the last place person has to do some crazy stunt, and you're gonna tell them no when it's all okay to gamble on sports.
You always take it from 0 to 100. That's $10. Now you're talking about tattoos. Like, what are you talking
That's a
about?
lot of money to a 10-year-old.
I mean, Kevin in the
Not
chat's
that
right. I
money.
mean, we were bowling pot games when we were 13. All right, let's
That's different than 10, though.
I was bowling.
Not from 30 years ago. What are you talking about?
True.
I mean,
All right,
You
listen.
barely get a McDonald's meal for $10 anymore.
We appreciate you stopping by. It's always
Yeah, no doubt.
always fun to have you. It'll be a while. It's not going to be a regular.
Yeah, once we like work up some stories. Gav's got like basketball doesn't start like for another probably 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, and it
he's
won't be a regular thing, but every once in a while, Bill's going to come back. He's going to check in with us, and we'll have some parents in the back stories for you as we go on our own journeys here as parents in the sports world. So listen,
Oh,
big
Tony.
fan of Tony Rosa
Hey,
Amelia.
Tony. Oh my goodness, Hoss, what's good?
Do the people know what you're doing on the gram? Are they aware of this?
Oh, what? Who? Tony?
No, me. He's talking about me.
I was like,
Well,
what's
this
Tony?
is
No.
this is part of why I talked about this for the parents in the back piece.
I'm not
Yeah,
going to say nothing if you're not saying
No,
nothing.
I'll say it. Yeah, I started an Instagram for my daughter's soccer and dance, and I'm constantly recording training videos and putting
music
putting
to it,
hardcore
like,
rap music behind it. Okay, Biggie victory while she's running sprints. Okay,
Liv scores the goal. You hear in the back, cash rules everything around.
that's
me.
right.
Damn,
That's
man.
right. Yes. Yeah. So
He's got, what is that Meek Mill song? What is that? Dreams
of
and
Nightmare?
Nightmares? Yeah.
even the clean version of that one's tough.
Oh, man.
we have no.
Crazy
Listen, I mean,
paranoia.
I'm deep into this. I'm not going to lie to you. So we have hype songs that we listen to before we go to games or training. It's a whole set of songs we listen to, including Redman, Time for Some Action, Cameron, Get 'Em Girls, Drake, Big Rings, a couple others on there. I'm writing her a letter before every game, before she plays every game. Just trying to highlight one or two things. Tell her I'm proud of her. Like here's what we're focusing on in this game. So yeah, I got the IG going. Highlights are going to be on there. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, I'm deep into it. I'm like, I'm teetering that edge, bro. I'm teetering that edge. I really am.
Yeah, this is Mike. Mike has his kids listen to all the stuff from like the late '90s, early 2000s that we would always listen to. When last New Year's Eve, they came up to our place in the mountains, and so I was getting requests from all the kids to play songs, and Liv's like, "Bill, do you have Watch Out for the Big Girls?" I went, "What?" I'm like, "Isn't that song from like the '90s, like that? It's like a house beat type of song. It's Watch Out for the Big Girls." Yeah. No, I'm not playing that. Sorry, your dad's going to play that.
Well, it has a different meaning to them,
I understand. I understand. Still wild to hear. You're telling me about $10.
That's actually
football.
I need to get that song on the IG reel. Actually, you just gave me an idea there. I need to get that song on the IG reel.
Jesus Lord.
So, listen, just listen. Just keep me in your thoughts. All right, keep me in your thoughts, and check in on me every once in a while. Just make sure I'm not too far off the deep end of this sports parent thing, this soccer dad thing.
Yeah, but
I gotta keep it in check.
The IG videos and stuff. That's how you channel it. Instead of yelling at people at the game, that's where you put it into.
You know what annoys me? You know what annoys me about that more than anything is, God forbid, he would do something with the show and put some kind of Instagram reel from my show, right? But he don't do shit with any of the show. God forbid he touches any of my content or advertises anything for the show. For his daughter's soccer, though, he's all of a sudden he's social media guru out there. Good Lord. I swear to God,
That's too good.
annoys
It's
me.
too good. Hey, listen, it's the
All right,
kids,
buddy.
bro. All right, yo,
Yeah, I
feel
hear
better,
it.
bro. Feel better,
All right,
and
Bill,
we'll catch up
have
with
a
you
good recovery, Bill.
All right, fellas.
later.
Later.
Always good to have Bill on. All right, you ready to give the people what they want?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, you want to go first? Or you want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go first because I gave a little bit of people a little bit of a sneak peek of what my worst of the week is on my Twitter at BrooklynRob11. Shameless plug. If you haven't followed me, I'm usually have a good time with bad bowling takes, and just social media has been pretty quiet on the bowling end lately. I would imagine once the bowling season picks up, me and you will be getting back into it. Yelling at people and getting yelled at. But my let me I gotta find this guy's name. Is one of the hidden gems now of the Facebook bowling world is the Bowling Science Forum, where it's just nonstop great content for the week. But my post, I don't have his name. I actually cut it out. But this gentleman posted a picture of all the new ball releases. It's release day, everybody, by the way. So make sure you get your latest and greatest new release bowling balls to drill them up, because they're longer, they're stronger, and they will raise your average at least 25 pins just by drilling the new releases. And then once you drill a new release, expect a new release to be announced probably a week later after you drill your new release. So then you have to go back and drill more new releases, and then you end up just with a lot of bowling balls in your living room that you're not using. Anyway, this post came on a new release post of the 6 balls and was just like, how many of these balls are you guys going to drill? It was Patch Pirate buffet, right? Everybody was chiming in, all kinds of Patch Pirates.
Ball
waving
release
their
season is
flags.
Patch Pirate season.
Yup, Patch Pirate season, flags waving, R, longer, stronger, R. But this gentleman commented, and I don't have his name, but it was literally his comment, and I posted this to my Twitter. I took a snapshot of it. I made a 21 pin jump by owning 3 of these balls. I give most props to the one remix, but when things broke down, Brutal Collision and Top Speed were my next boys. 198 to 219 get you a 1. So I'm thinking he's thinking about a 1 remix, which is not one of the new releases, but he was just talking in general about 3 of the balls that he drilled that was going to get you a 21 pin jump, including, I think one was a Top Speed, which I think is a new release. So man, the uneducation and the lack of the bowling world, where people think by just drilling balls that they're going to increase their average. And who knows?
If you drill the right one,
Well,
if
I'm
you drill
saying
the right one for the place you're bowling in, right?
it's true, and that's where the problem with their sport lies, in a sense, right? Where if you average a 205 and you could go into the pro shop and drill a ball that is, instead of making actual real adjustments with your hand and your feet and your speed, you could actually just go into the pro shop, drill a ball for the house shot, and average 220. But on the other hand, that's just the way the sport is today, Mike. I mean, we do it all the time, bowling sport shots. When you're throwing and you're going through 5, 6, 7 bowling balls, trying to find the right ball that fits the shot, right? So, I mean, yeah, that's the way the bowling world is, and it's just kind of sad because we grew up in an era before that where you actually had to make adjustments with your mind, and I mean, like with your body and physically adjusting. So there's a little bit of traditionalist that misses the old way of bowling before resin, right? But there's also different kinds of adjustments with the new era of bowling. So I'm kind of going both ways in this. But anyway, that's my worst of the week.
Okay. I got to be honest. This might be a classic. Might be a classic.
Worst of the year nominee.
I'm not so sure that I'm going to be able to get through. I'll probably be able to get through it because I'm tired, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this one because this is pretty good stuff. It's from the Bowling Science Forum again. It seems like the Bowling Science Forum is the new treasure trove. It's like the never-ending spring of worst of the week material. So this post is from Randy Chevelle. Randy, congratulations! You won worst of the week.
Congrats.
Okay, here's the post. My house changed their shot. That's the start of the post. You know it's going to be a good one when the post starts. My house changed their shot. Anything between 1 to 10 is no man's land. There's no recovery. It's never coming back. Meanwhile, the back ends are still above average snappy, which itself was always a challenge. As someone that typically plays between 10 and 15 on Lig, it's killing me with that cliff there. My average is down 20 pins from last season after 18 games between 2 Ligs. Averages across the Ligs are way down. The only successful bowlers are straight bowlers, or those who have always played a tight line up the middle. I bowled on a couple of dozen sports shots this summer, and none of them were this difficult. I'm really not sure what the point of making the Lig house shot so difficult is. It's supposed to be relaxing fun. Morale is not good. I know morale is not good. I know I'll figure it out once I get the right surface on my equipment. But most Lig bowlers don't have the luxury of a ball spinner or a 12-ball arsenal.
Anger, depression. What is
Man,
the 3 words?
Change the Lig. You want to make bowlers angry? You want a surefire way to make bowlers angry? Change the Lig shot, yo. Guaranteed to get bowlers angry.
I really feel I kind of don't believe them that they cliffed the house shot, that the ball.
Oh, I know. Well, listen, I mean, there's so many levels of this worst of the week. Like, do you really trust this person to describe what's actually going on out on the lanes? Do you really think there's a place out there that's going to purposely make their house shot hard? I mean, a lot of it doesn't make sense.
No. It sounds like you know what it sounds like happened? It sounds like they just made the lanes tighter in the middle of the lane. That's what it sounds like. They just made it tighter.
Kevin with a great comment. That post sounds like a soldier on the front lines writing a letter to his sweetheart back home. Morale is down. I agree.
Yeah, Nico, frustration, rage, and depression is the whole league, is the morale of the league right now.
Yes, Nico reminded me. It reminded me of that post for sure. So
yeah. So I mean, it is what it is, Mike.
Too good. I love the beginning of the league season. It's too good.
It is. All right.
Yo, my guy, Lucas, what's good, bro?
All right, Mike. Final thoughts. So, I'm going to throw another quick plug out for the Carl Long Open, October 19th to the 22nd.
It's right around the corner, right?
Yeah, there might be a surprise show that week, Mike. I have something in the works. We might have a few interesting people, and I might not be filming from here that week on the Thursday, or it might be a Wednesday. We might move the show to a Wednesday night instead of a Thursday that week. Specifically, the sweeper is that Thursday night, and I plan on being there to commentate, I think, for a little bit. I'm most likely definitely probably not bowling, but I definitely will be down there. But that Wednesday night might be an interesting special kind of edition show. More to come on that, but it'll definitely be a show people want to tune in for, because it will be a lot of interesting things and maybe some guests that we've never had before on the show that we've probably always wanted to have on. Anyway, that being said, I did read an interesting tournament, and I might reach out to Chris Viali because he's running a Northeast Megabuck tournament that they ran last year. And they're running it this
right
year.
Around Thanksgiving.
$60,000 in sponsor money. And it's over Thanksgiving weekend. First place will pay $20,000. And every penny that comes in is going into true to hard costs and prize funds. if anybody doesn't know Chris Viali, he's a previous guest on our show. Chris Viali is a true ambassador of the sport. He's been around for years. Great guy. Always been involved with bowling. Amazing bowler in his own
Accomplished
right.
bowler, yeah.
Amazing bowler in his own right, but has done so much for the sport. He's actually sponsored pro tournaments before when he was with Cambridge Credit Counseling. They were involved with the PBA for a little bit. He's always been involved in the industry doing something. So if you guys, he had 492 entries and 197 bowlers paid out of more than 68 grand last Thanksgiving. So if you guys are interested in that Mega Buck tournament in the Northeast, I would imagine it's probably going to be somewhere in Connecticut. I don't really know. I'm trying to look at the flyer right now, but it's locked. But the tournament website is bowlingmegabucks.com. And it looks like it's in Chicopee, Massachusetts. Bolero Chicopee. And bowlingmegabucks.com. I'll reach out to Viali and see if we can get him on to talk about it. But I like giving promotion to a lot of these big tournaments, that people are running. So
Yeah, I know. Like Thanksgiving was traditionally the Hoinky weekend too, but yeah, just generally, I don't know. I mean, it seems like a tough weekend. It's like tough weekend to draw people to an event. A lot of people are already traveling. And
Super Hoinky was every year on Thanksgiving, and
I know.
Hundreds and hundreds of people would bowl. Action. And me and my brother always used to laugh because we'd spend our Thanksgiving, no joke, 10 straight years at Perky's Pizza in Thanksgiving in the Cincinnati, I forgot the name of the bowling center where the Super Hoinky was every year. And we never really even had Thanksgiving with our friends and family. It was always with the bowlers, eating pizza, bowling action, gambling. So it can be done if the tournament's right. Bowlers don't care. They'll miss Thanksgiving to bowl a big money tournament. That's fact.
True, no doubt. All right, my final thought is just support the PBA League, man. PBA League this weekend,
Western Bowl
next week coming up.
Irish Pogie.
So, definitely check it out. Make sure you're tuning in. If you want to get your bets in, get your bets in. But either way, let's make sure we support the product they're putting out there. Want to give a shout out to Charlie Mitchell and all the folks up there at Bayside. I hope they have a really enjoyable time with this event coming in, and I hope they pack it. I hope they get the crowds out there. I hope it's a good atmosphere. Anytime the PBA goes to Bayside, it's always a good opportunity to showcase the positives of this product that we have to promote that we all enjoy so much. So let's make sure we support it. All right.
Would it be nice to see a commercial or something that would promote the PBA League on TV? Or some more marketing and better promotion instead of just them doing stuff on social media. Like, I'd kind of like to see a FS1 commercial or a Fox commercial. It could be out there. I don't really watch FS1 or Fox, honestly. So maybe it is, but I would like to see more promotion and marketing of the PBA League. I don't know. We didn't get a chance to get into it tonight because we had Bill on and stuff, but like, the hype around the league isn't really really a lot this year, in my opinion. I'm not really excited about it or even super pumped to watch the shows.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we still have to support the product that they're putting out there.
I'll throw some bets in. I'll watch
especially the live shows,
Yeah. So the first live show is at 5 p.m. Eastern. If anybody doesn't know, Sunday on FS1. Monday, the second show is at 7 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Tuesday is taped. The tape show is 8 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday live is 8 p.m. Eastern. And then the PBA LBC National Championship Clash is Sunday, October 1st, 7 p.m. Eastern. And then Sunday, October 22nd, is the good old PBA Strike Derby, Mike, our favorite event of the year. So that's the schedule, the TV schedule, if anybody was wondering.
All right, so check it out, Rob. Always fun, bro. Have a good week. We'll likely be back next week again. Everybody, thanks for joining us. As always, if you're listening to this after, we appreciate the support. We got some emails over the last couple of weeks. Always appreciate the emails. Shout to the people that sent us worst of the weeks.
Check out our Etsy store.
we'll-
Sweep the Rack.
We'll definitely
Wants some shirts.
consider the worst of the weeks for our next one. We had some stuff picked out for tonight. We appreciate it. Don't hesitate to email us, sweeptherack@gmail. We love hearing from the people. 2 soccer games scheduled this weekend. 2 games this weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
It's a
but
lot of
it's looking-
Instagram reels.
It's looking like rain out here on the East Coast, so I'm not going to get too hyped up just to be disappointed. So
That's right.
check you guys out, and we appreciate you
Yes.
joining us.
Later.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big